Shalom uvracha, alumni of Shapel the Midrash Rachel. I was honored to be asked to give a series of some Torah, words of Torah, and it's not something that I take lightly, and I feel very, very privileged to be able to share some words of Torah with our alumni. What I'd like to do is I would like to share a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos. I find myself in the second parak on the 9th Mishnah, and I'd like to give it over in 3 5-minute clips, which we're going to be seeing with each other over the next 2 or 3 weeks. And I'd like to hopefully give over the commentary of the Nesiva Shalom on this Mishnah. So the Mishnah starts off with Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai, and he has 5 students. And he says to them, go off and see what is a quote-unquote derech yeshara, a straight way that a person can yidabek, a person can cling to. So right away the Nesiva Shalom explains that the straight way a person can cling to is he gives his 5 students a mission. How can you go and cling to Hashem? What is the derech yeshara to go and cling to Hashem? And the words that he uses to them are su'u and ru'u. Go off and see. Meaning, he doesn't want them to give advice to the greatest scholars of our generation, to the tzaddikim of our generation. Rather, he wants them to go out to the regular people and say, tell us what is a way that they can go and serve Hashem and get close to Hashem. So the first one, Rabbi Eliezer Omer, ayin tova, to have a good eye. Rabbi Yeshua Omer, chaver tov, have a good friend. Rabbi Yossi Omer, shachen tov, you should have a good shchuna, neighborhood. Rabbi Shimon Omer, haroes hanolad, you have to see what is quote-unquote being born, which we'll have to explain that a little bit more. And Rabbi Eliezer Omer, leiv tov. When Rabbi Eliezer comes along and says you have to have a good heart, that's the way to cling to Hashem. So Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai, hearing all of the 5 different opinions, he says, Amar lehem, roeh ani et divrei Rabbi Eliezer ben Arech. I hear the last words of leiv tov. Why? Shebichlal dvarav divreichem. Because included in his words of leiv tov are all of your words. So let's start analyzing this Mishnah according to the Nesiva Shalom. So again, the Nesiva Shalom says, we're getting a piece of advice for regular people over here. What can we do to cling to Hashem? So the first opinion is Rabbi Eliezer, and he says ayin tova. So the question is, what does ayin tova mean, a good eye? So I know this is probably going to be broadcast during baseball season. A good eye is not, can you tell a ball or a strike? Good eye, good eye. He wants to explain the Nesiva Shalom that a good eye recognizes that everything that happens to you is coming from Hashem. Sort of like gamzu l'tova. This is also for the good. Everything that happens. And he goes, if you want to cling to Hashem, you need to have a good eye. You have to recognize that it's easy, obviously, when things are going well. But if all of a sudden Kodesh Baruch Hu throws a curveball your way, can you recognize that this is also from Hashem? So he says the makor, the source of being able to have a good eye, is sameach bechelko. So what does that mean, sameach bechelko, over here? So the Nesiva Shalom says, simcha is not an emotion. It's not that you're happy or glad or sad or mad. Simcha is a mindset. Simcha is a derech hachayim, a shitas hachayim. What is simcha? I'll give an example that's a little bit extreme, but not so extreme. A person is sitting shiva. All of a sudden a person loses a loved one. Says the halacha, you have to sit on the ground, you have to krib kriya, you're not allowed to go to weddings, you're not allowed to, except simcha. So where is the simcha over here? So the simcha is that we're not supposed to be sitting there, woo-woo, I'm so happy this person, that's not the simcha. The simcha is that I recognize that there's a master plan. That everything that Kodesh Baruch Hu does, do I understand it? No. Am I going to miss this person? Yes. Does it hurt me right now? Yes, it does hurt me right now. But I have to recognize that Kodesh Baruch Hu has a master plan. And it comes along, Rabbi Eliezer, and he says that the way to work on the derech, to cling to Hashem, is going to be ayin tova. I'll just end this shita with one story that I remember hearing of Rav Nosson Tzvi Finkel. And Rav Nosson Tzvi Finkel Zatzal was learning with a bacher from Chicago, and he was very, very sick. And he was lying on his couch on a Motzei Shabbos with his Parkinson's, was lying down and shaking, and he was learning through a Gemara. And all of a sudden, Rav Nosson Tzvi had a spasm, falls off the couch. Can you imagine, there's a 19-year-old boy from Chicago sitting in the room with Rav Nosson Tzvi Finkel. He has a spasm, rolls off the couch, he's lying on the floor. All of a sudden, Rav Nosson Tzvi picks up his head and he says to the boy, so finish the Tosfos. So all of a sudden you hear stories of people who have such tsaras and you never hear them complaining. And again, we're not saying, woo, I'm so happy I have these tsaras, but gam zu l'tova, ayin tova. That's the first shita. The second shita is Rav Yeshua, and Rav Yeshua says that the way to cling to Hashem is through a chaver tov. And now the question is, what does it mean, a chaver tov? And hopefully with this, ladies of Midrash Rachel, gentlemen of Chappelle's, we will, Amir Hashem, be able to continue this next week. Thank you very much.